When suspects see a Blackhawk patrol unit in their rearview mirror, 99% of them wet their pants, but this rider definitely belonged to that reckless 1%. On October 13, 2024, a biker wearing a unique eye-catching helmet decided to test his luck and try to outsmart one of the state's most relentless troopers. It all started when 911 calls flooded dispatch, reporting a pack of bikers weaving through heavy traffic at terrifying speeds. Units quickly locked onto one specific rider who was treating the open highway like his personal stunt arena just to put on a show.
Still continue on Gulby Road, approaching Norman Boulevard.
The chase quickly turned into a literal cat-and-mouse game at a local gas station. Rocking a helmet topped with giant mouse ears, the rider taunted the troopers by circling the pumps to stay just out of reach. As deputies tried to box him in, his friends recorded every second of the stunt, eager to turn the risky encounter into a viral Instagram reel.
Go, go!
On the net! Only on all net, man.
Oh, you're not going.
Only on all net. He getting up out there. He getting up out there. He getting up out there. He gone.
Make notifications.
The Blackhawk unit may have elite driving skills, but they were fighting a losing battle against the heavy evening gridlock. The rider completely cooked the deputies, slicing deep into a sea of bumper-to-bumper traffic until those mouse ears faded from view. With visual lost and no way to close the gap, the unit had no choice but to terminate the pursuit. Riding a plateless bike, the mystery suspect successfully ghosted the county's most brutal unit, leaving officers empty-handed and never to be found. A Dodge Charger Hellcat is an absolute monster of a machine, the fastest and most powerful mass-produced four-door sedan in the world. But in the wrong hands, that kind of power becomes an immediate threat to everyone on the road. On April 12, 2025, just before 6 p.m., a Blackhawk deputy spotted a Hellcat rolling with a suspended tag. The moment the deputy flipped on the lights to initiate a stop, the driver slammed the gas. Unleashing over 700 roaring horsepower, the Hellcat launched forward and left the deputy scrambling just to keep the taillights in sight.
Or coming up the Jonesboro Road. Might be getting off at Jonesboro Road.
Both sides pushed hard, but the Hellcat's raw speed was simply untouchable. With over 700 horses screaming under the hood, it tore down county roads like a rocket, leaving the deputy completely smoked and in the dust. A week later, that exact same Hellcat crossed paths with Georgia State Patrol. The unwritten rule on the highway is simple. When GSP shows up, the game is usually over. But not this time. The moment the blue lights flashed, the Hellcat floored it once again, leaving even state troopers powerless to reel it in.
Still westbound, coming up here.
Two legendary enforcement units, Blackhawk and GSP, both left in the dust. The Hellcat remained undefeated, a true muscle car ghost on Georgia highways, proving once again that when raw horsepower meets an open road, speed wins. Late night, April 14th, 2023. Trooper David Robinson caught a heavy-hitting Dodge Charger pulling out of Little Rock and immediately closed in. As soon as those emergency lights hit the dark, the game was set and the chase was live. Merging onto the interstate, the Charger pulled a pure high IQ play that caught everyone off guard. He slid to the far left lane and tapped the brakes. The trooper swallowed the bait, blowing right past at full tilt. By the time the officer pushed it to 130 miles per hour, chasing ghosts ahead, the Charger was already miles behind, cruising in the dark. On September 13th, 2024, Trooper Brady was redlining his cruiser after a fleeing Charger, thinking it was business as usual. Suddenly, a Porsche joined the team, pulling right up to the Charger's side to pull off a window-to-window handoff at top speed. The dashcam footage might be chopped up, but what happens next is absolute madness. Then came the kicker. The Charger's trunk flew open, dropping a massive oil trap onto the road. Brady's cruiser hit the slick, lost all control, and crashed hard off the highway. Pursuit over, the Charger and its Porsche backup faded into the night without a scratch. You'd expect James Bond maneuvers only on the big screen, but they actually pulled this off on a real highway. You don't get many chances to see an SRT Jeep pushed to its absolute limits in a high-speed pursuit, so you definitely don't want to miss this one. It was August 17th, 2024 in Little Rock, just half an hour past midnight. Arkansas State Trooper Brandon Walker was on routine patrol when an SRT Jeep blew past him at insane speed, nearly clipping two cars in the process. Walker hit the lights immediately, and just like that, the chase was on. The SRT Jeep pushed 150 miles per hour in a 65, blasting through red lights and dodging traffic at ridiculous speeds. Walker struggled to close the gap, but he never lost sight of the speeding SUV. At around 80 miles per hour, the SRT threw a hard right turn. Its heavy-duty brakes saved it, but the trooper almost slid headfirst into a light pole trying to follow. The gap exploded instantly as a lightning storm began hitting Little Rock. Walker pushed back up to 100 miles per hour searching for the Jeep, but it was already long gone into the dark. You've probably seen it all, but this chase is proof you don't need a 700 horsepower supercar to pull off an escape. You just need a brain. It was April 15th, 2023, around 10:30 a.m. Trooper Thomas Hubbard pulled over a Ford Explorer for speeding. At first, it looked like the most routine stop imaginable. Polite conversation, zero tension, and total compliance. But the driver had lied about his name. The second the trooper walked back to his cruiser to verify the ID, the Explorer floored it and took off into traffic. At around 100 miles per hour, the Explorer pulled off a move nobody saw coming. At the absolute last second, the driver sliced hard for a right-hand exit, threading the needle past a semi-truck by mere inches. It was smooth, highly aggressive, and timed to perfection, not exactly what you'd expect from a Ford Explorer. That split-second maneuver blew the pursuit wide open, leaving the trooper completely out of position. The search came up empty, and after 4 minutes, the chase was called off. The driver ghosted the state police and was never found. The Ford Mustang 5.0 S650 is practically a purpose-built getaway machine, pushing 480 horsepower straight from the factory and easily clearing the 500 mark with just a few basic tunes. It's an absolute nightmare for standard patrol cruisers. It was May 3rd, 2026 at 1 o'clock in the morning when a trooper spotted a glaringly familiar sight, a bright orange 5.0 running fake tags. This wasn't just a random traffic stop. This was the exact same car that had left this very trooper in the dust just 1 week earlier. The moment the blue lights flashed, the Mustang didn't hesitate. The driver was more than ready to run it back and embarrass the officer all over again.
He's taking off on me. Reckless driver, he's fleeing from me right now, eastbound, coming up on the Clark, 947 XKZ, I believe is the license plate. I'll be right in a second. Now, so back to 80, no traffic. Northbound Scott, by state police. Speeds right now.
The city streets were just a warm-up. As soon as the Mustang hit the open highway, the trooper's chances vanished completely. Now off the leash, the driver dropped a gear and decided to absolutely cook him, letting that 5.0-liter V8 do what it does best.
10. Maybe take it
Status on ASP being patched.
right on 1022, and I lost him at the split for 40. It looked like he may have cut eastbound, but I'm not sure on that.
The patrol cruiser was instantly outclassed, fighting a hopeless battle against the Mustang's raw torque and top-end speed. In a matter of seconds, the suspect put literal football fields between them, a brutal high-speed disappearing act that allowed him to vanish into the darkness and humiliate the exact same trooper twice in just 7 days. On May 15, 2024, at 1 o'clock in the morning in Little Rock, a Corvette C6 turned the night into a complete nightmare for state troopers. After slipping past 3 separate units, another trooper locked on as the pursuit hit full throttle, pushing extreme speeds between 135 and 140 miles per hour.
Ladybug, he's taking off. We're gonna be 30 eastbound. Vehicle description, charges, speeds, traffic.
The Corvette flew through highway construction zones, swerving around barrels and dodging traffic at impossible speeds. At 120 miles per hour, the driver pulled off a daring move, sliding past a car in front and instantly shooting into the right lane.
What are your charges? Go left, there we go. Warning, I just wrecked out. 30 eastbound, 114. You wrecked out?
The trooper had zero time to react. He clipped the construction barrels and slammed directly into an innocent couple's vehicle. Meanwhile, the Corvette vanished into the dark, marking yet another chase where Arkansas State Police were left empty-handed. On March 28, 2024, Trooper Killian spotted a black Honda Civic tailgating with a paper tag. But this wasn't your average Honda. The second he lit it up, the Civic roared to life and blasted past 113 miles per hour. Flying toward a red light at 100 miles per hour, the Civic didn't even hit the brakes. It slid right between 2 cars, missing them by inches. That single risky move saved the Civic that night. After cutting its headlights and slipping into the dark back streets, the car vanished. Trooper Killian pushed the chase all the way to Woodrow and Asher, but the Honda was long gone, forcing him to call off the pursuit. On April 20th, 2024, an orange Dodge Charger RT got lit up outside a Popeyes over a bogus temporary tag. The driver put it in park and let the trooper walk right up. Then, total chaos. He slammed the pedal, smoked the tires, and put daylight between them before the trooper could even draw a breath. The Charger RT clearly wasn't stock. It moved like a fully modified setup, likely pushing over 500 horsepower, and it showed. The driver hit 130 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. But instead of staying on the highway, he made a sharp tactical move, ditching the open roads and diving into narrow side streets, fully aware that ASP troopers were already getting the radio call and setting up a trap ahead. The trooper eventually lost sight and was forced to call it off. That night, the driver didn't just outrun ASP, he totally outplayed them. Staying steps ahead of every radio broadcast and running ghost tags, he slipped away clean, leaving the troopers with nothing but brake lights and taking full control of the night. This ASP trooper put his entire career on the line chasing a red Chevy Camaro. It all started when Corporal Clayton McDonald spotted the muscle car tearing down Interstate 430 on paper tags. He tried to stalk the Camaro silently to catch him off guard, but the driver was way ahead of him. Knowing the trooper was locked on, the driver played directly on his ego, baiting him to redline his cruiser to a terrifying 147 miles per hour without even throwing the lights on. The driver had exhausted all options trying to lose the patrol car. But with the trooper cutting through thick traffic like a man possessed, the suspect realized raw speed wasn't enough. He needed a tactical out and executed a brilliant high-stakes maneuver to force the officer into a corner and end the chase on the spot. Clocking 120, he sliced from the far left lane all the way down to dive bomb the Woodrow exit. A lethal move that shut the trooper out instantly. The Camaro vanished, leaving ASP in the dust, and leaving this officer with a 10-day suspension and a crushed ego. Late on the night of May 18, 2023, nearly 40 minutes before midnight, a trooper pulled over a Maserati for speeding. What seemed like a routine stop quickly took a dramatic turn. Within seconds, the trooper caught the smell of marijuana coming from a half-unzipped bag and noticed the driver trembling uncontrollably. When the driver gave a fake birth date, the trooper pulled out a fingerprint scanner. The moment his real identity popped up, the driver made a desperate break for it, sprinting back to the Maserati, firing up its 425 horsepower and launching onto the interstate.
Safety complex taking off 1037.
The Maserati pushed up to 140 miles per hour before the driver made a wild lightning-fast dive onto exit 27 at full speed. Catching the trooper off guard, the sudden maneuver didn't stop him. He reacted instantly and took the exit right behind him. Even with the Maserati's raw power pulling away like a jet, the trooper stayed locked in and managed to track him down again seconds later. Nearly 15 miles later, the driver pulled the exact same trick, violently swerving onto exit 12 at full speed without even touching the brakes. Knowing that trying to mirror that sharp turn would trigger a devastating wreck, the trooper overshot the ramp, looped around and doubled back, only to find the Maserati had vanished. But the driver's luck had already run out. Thanks to the fingerprint scan from earlier, troopers already had his real identity locked in, leading straight to his arrest the very next day.